You end up with what you put up with. Have you ever heard that saying before? Well, I hope you commit this to long-term memory because it can be a game changer, not only in your personal life, but obviously in your real estate investing life too. So what you put up with is what you tolerate long-term. It's what you allow to creep into your life and stay there, as opposed to putting your foot down and saying, no, it's not going to be this way. So if you're in a job you hate, if you're in a career you despise, if you have no freedom because your jerk boss you don't like has control over your time and schedule, that's because you put up with it long term. Now, I'm not saying go quit your job today as a result of this video. In fact, I have a good video on why you shouldn't quit your job for real estate early on. However, long term, don't put up with those things that aren't complete excellence in your life. Are you in a relationship that is demoralizing, is just bringing you down? If you continue to tolerate that, if you continue to put up with that, that's what you end up with long term. Make sense? So what else in your life have you allowed to tolerate, to put up with, and that is now you're ending up with? And that's what I want you to do in this video. I want this video to be about cleansing and solving and improving your results. Because ultimately, that's what separates the successful from the non. The successful say, you know what, I'm not going to put up with unsuccess. I'm not going to put up with it. I'm not going to tolerate it. A good example would be the University of Alabama's football coach, Nick Saban. When he came into Alabama's program, he brought this attitude of complete intolerance for anything but complete excellence from their team. And that is during practice, during film, off the field, certainly on the field, whether they're winning or they're losing. It's always a complete intolerance, not putting up with anything but the best. And that's where you need to be too. And that's with every aspect of your life. And let's talk about how that relates to real estate investing, because it has a whole lot of impacts in real estate investing. So, an example. What if you've got a contractor or contractors that string you along, that don't show up on time, that don't do the work when they say they're going to do? Do you put up with it? Because if you put up with it, that's what you're going to end up with long term. And what I have to teach my apprentices so often is, don't put up with it. If you work with someone who doesn't follow through, assuming it was not your fault, it was their fault, then don't put up with it in the future. Move on. Find somebody else. And I'm not beating up on contractors because there's some great ones out there. In fact, I have a great video on how to find great contractors. But there's other examples as well. What if you're working with a title company or a closing attorney and they're saying, oh, those YouTube videos you see, yeah, that doesn't work around here. Don't put up with that. Find a title company that understands creative real estate investing. Don't put up with anything but the best. Or this is a big one right here. Buyers. If you're flipping houses, you have to sell houses to buyers. So often, real estate investors put up with, they tolerate buyers that string them along, buyers that lie, buyers that mistreat them. This is your property you're trying to resell. Don't put up with it. That means for many cases you need to have non-refundable earnest money at some point, maybe after the inspection period. It means you need to evaluate if they can actually buy the property. You verify their finances. Don't put up with buyers that string you along. This is a huge thing right here. Then let's just go into a more global view of this thing. How are you doing as a real estate investor right now? Are you successful or are you broke? Well, look, this is the best time to be investing in real estate the way we do it as creative investors that literally has ever been in the history of recorded real estate investing in America. We're talking perfection. That's because home builders are not able to build homes at the price points where so many buyers are right now, which is the more affordable houses. You've heard the phrase, it's an affordable housing crisis in America. The crisis is for the people looking to buy a home, not for people like us flipping houses to those kind of buyers. So when we can get to off-market inventory, which is what our apprentices and I do, we're making a killing right now. Multiple offer situations all over the place. Even as in other price points, you get into higher price points in certain parts of the country, things have changed, but not in that zone where all the money's being made. So if you are broke right now, if you are not successful in real estate investing, stop putting up with it. Stop tolerating it, because that's what you're going to end up with. This is the perfect time to be in this business. So whether we're talking about your personal life or your real estate investing life, the idea is that you need to put your foot down and stop tolerating anything but excellence. Because there's really only two people in life. There's the haves and the have-nots. There's the owners of the real estate, and there's the tenants. Which one are you right now? And then where do you want to be? And if you want to be the owner of that apartment complex, not the tenant, if you want to be the head, not the tail, if you want to be the one who is in charge of your schedule, you want to be the boss, not the employee. If you want to be in that position, you have to stop tolerating being in the other position. You got to stop putting up with it, because that's what you're ending up with right now. Does that make sense? It's a hard message. It's not easy to hear sometimes. But for a lot of people, they need to hear it. And here in 2019, it's time to put aside, to put your foot down, to not tolerate anything but the best. And you're capable of so much more than you're currently producing right now in life. I already know that to be true, whether I know you personally or not. You can do a whole lot more. And it's not more time. It's literally saying, no more of this. I'm going here. This is the direction I'm going in. Stop tolerating anything but the best from yourself. All right, well, I'm Phil Pustiovsky, by the way, with freedommentor.com. I'm a real estate investor, but I'm also a mentor and coach to many of the most successful investors all across North America. I'm the best-selling author of this book, How to Be a Real Estate Investor, which I give away for free in these videos. And if you haven't read this book, please do, because it shares with you exactly how we do what we do and how we're so successful year after year after year after year, regardless of market conditions, regardless of what's going on. But right now, of course, we're just making an absolute fortune because it's easier than it has been to do it right now than in the past. And if you want to learn how to not be broke as a real estate investor, if you want to learn how to really, really, really succeed, in addition to all the free resources that I provide, this YouTube channel, of course, my book, and those sorts of things, I also want you to consider to apply for my apprentice program, where my coaching team and I, we mentor people one-on-one, week in, week out, and we transform them into market-leading, money-making machines. Many of my graduates are dominating their markets across the United States and across North America right now. And it is a remarkable time, but also it is a time where we have been able to develop so many techniques and strategies that are simply not used by anybody else in America because of how long we've been in it, with how many people we've worked with. That those that join the apprentice program today, boy, they walk into something special, something extraordinary. So to apply for that, I think there's a link here on this video as well. I'm Phil Pustiovsky again. Thanks so much for watching this video. What's the lesson? You end up with what you put up with. So stop putting up with, stop tolerating anything but the best. If you have comments, questions, concerns, put them down here below this video. I take out time out of my schedule to answer those. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.